If you want clearer audio, the best thing you can do is to get a better microphone. Like this one here. To improve it further, you get closer to the microphone. Listen to how clear that sounds. Get too close and you start hearing all the clicks and stuff and it doesn't sound quite so good. Although some people like that stuff apparently. But what if you record something and you can't re-record it and it sounds like crap? The standard thing to do, and what I do with all my voice recordings on this channel, is to use noise cancellation. And at the end of every recording, I do this. Bum. I do this to give myself 3 seconds of silence, and I end with bum because B is an abrupt looking sound. And so I then know I can use those 3 seconds of footage before I bum myself as reference to show the computer the sound of silence. But this silence isn't silent, for if it was, then there would be no need for noise cancellation. If I get these 3 seconds of silence and amplify them, then there will eventually be background ambience of some sort. Sometimes humming, but mostly just a faint hiss. Brought on through limitations in the equipment that I use. What noise cancellation does, once fed those few seconds of silence, is to then go over the rest of the voice clip to reduce the background noise in those segments as well by the amount that it heard in the silence section. This will hopefully reduce or even eliminate everything but the sound of my beautiful voice. Honestly, if my voice recording is good, then it's not too important that I do this. The background sounds will be mostly drowned out by whatever sounds or music I choose to put my voice with in my videos. The worst that will happen by not using noise cancellation is that you'll get smartasses in the comment section who clearly have their volume turned up way too high, pointing out all the background noises going on in my video. On second thoughts, it's horrible when that happens. And that's why noise reduction is so important. But do too much noise cancellation and it starts eating away at the sounds that you want to hear as well, reducing it all down to a digitized, distorted sounding squiggle. And you don't want that. Perhaps because I do so much voice work, I've leaned more towards removing less of the noise, rather than to remove too much just because I can't stand how that sounds. And it's perhaps because of this that I've been underwhelmed by voice enhancement technologies. There are already technologies like Voice RTX, which are extremely powerful at removing background traffic and typing and other sounds like that, but I find often nibble away at the words being spoken as well. Whenever I try that sort of thing with anything but a decent setup, I feel it makes me sound too much like a robot, and so I disable it again. Thing is, it's hard to judge these things in practice because you tend to only hear the result of other people using these things, and never how well it does at fixing your own setup. For all I know, Voice RTX and Discord's built-in crisp audio enhancements have saved me the pain of hearing thousands of key presses from other people. I know that many people these days rely on things like crisp to moderate which noises heard from the mics are passed through to the server. I don't do that. I'm from the push-to-talk generation. I'm forever talking to myself, to the toilet seat, to fluffy kids, anything that will listen. And most of the stuff I say is inane tripe. Sort of like these videos, but worse. There's no way I'd be at the mercy of noise cancellation to decide which of my vocal utterings everybody else in the chat room should hear. No, I use push-to-talk. Yet for some reason I still press that button whenever I laugh or scream. Why do I do that? The latest audio enhancement thing for me to discover is Adobe's, which claims to be able to transform your poorly recorded audio into something that sounds a lot more professional sounding. And it seems rather powerful. I mean, not necessarily good, but definitely powerful, using AI to reconstruct how it thinks the audio should sound. Let's see how it fares. So that audio of me talking at the end of my last video wasn't the greatest. Here's a snippet just to remind you. Back in my day, graphics was something to be celebrated. And here it is using standard noise reduction methods. Back in my day, graphics was something to be celebrated. And here it is running through Adobe's thingy. Back in my day, graphics was something to be celebrated. When Crysis came out, people who could run it, ran it and enjoyed it. Those who couldn't, looked forward to getting the next computer upgrade that would allow them to. A complete overhaul. It's interesting that it hasn't just removed the echoes, but has kind of changed how my voice sounds as well. I'm not sure I prefer how it sounds. It still sounds like me, but it's a little too wavery and has subtly changed the sounds of some of the words. For instance, whereas I originally say rubbish, how rubbish it was, it has changed it to say rummish. How rummish it was. How rubbish it was. How rummish it was. Granted, I didn't pronounce the B's too clearly in the first place. But while I didn't pronounce the right letters too clearly, it's now very clearly pronouncing the wrong sounds. But overall, a very interesting result, and significantly different sounding from normal noise cancellation methods. This Adobe voice thingy probably has many great real-world applications. I could, for instance, use it to clean up the audio on the old VHS tapes that I've been digitizing.
What is your name?
I'm Philip.
In fact, that's all I can think of using it for right now. But I still won't be doing that for the same reasons that I'm not AI upscaling those tapes. And that's because I know this kind of technology is still in its infancy, and will only get better as time goes on. So it would be such a shame to AI enhance these things now, when if I had preserved the original instead, then it would have enabled me to do a better job at a later date, once technology had got even better. But out of curiosity, let's see what we can do with AI enhancements here in 2022.
What is your name?
I'm Felix.
So yeah, maybe this stuff isn't such a great idea right now, but I've just come up with an even better use for it.
Hello, dehumidifier. What's your name?
Seems the dehumidifier's a bit shy right now. I went to a spirit thingy for Halloween where we visited a haunted pub and looked for signs of paranormal activity. Problem was, all these spirits could only communicate through a specific app on a phone, and that app wasn't free. But now I have Adobe's thingy, I decided to attempt something similar by running that video clip through the program to see what it would say. So I proudly present to you, Seance with the dehumidifier.
Hello, dehumidifier. What's your name?
So yes, all fun and games I thought, until it created a voice out of nowhere. Proving once and for all that my cat's possessed. To be honest, my results with normal voices were rather dull, even when spoken over the sounds of a dehumidifier.
What is your name?
My name is Rapple.
What is your name?
My name is Rapple.
Given how unclear the input was, I think the output was perfectly acceptable. To make the Adobe thingy truly fail required me putting on a silly voice in the first place, like so.
Smash that subscribe button, leave a like and share with all your friends, family and loved ones and all those in between.
Now this is when it did alter the sounds, to the point where the words spoken no longer made any sense at all.
Smash that subscribe button, leave a like and share with all your friends, family and loved ones and all those in between.
Thank you, dehumidifier.
But when I have to speak like that in the first place to make it mess up, is it any wonder that the outcome also sounds stupid? Do you know what brown noise is? No, not that kind. This kind. I ran that through the program, because I wanted to see it polish a turd. Put it simply, random noise may utter the occasional human-sounding gurgle, but for the most part, Adobe's thingy simply quietens it. It is, after all, designed to eradicate background noises which sound very similar to this. What Adobe's thingy appears to do is to find variances in the pitch and volume and to amplify those bits, whilst trying to convert them into human-sounding sounds. For instance, here's an instrumental song of mine. And here it is through Adobe's thingy. And since that was such a fun example, here's another. Interesting how these generated voices remind me of other robotic sounding voices that I've heard in the past, like GLaDOS from Portal. That voice that's used in some of the Daft Punk songs, and there's even a spot of Jean-Michel Jarre in there somewhere. I swear the voice even attempted a beatbox right there. It's just a shame the music's still playing in the background. But if we add some brown noise to the mix, like so, then running it through Adobe's thingy leaves us with pretty much the voice and nothing else.
Then folks, the first after that can't go over the hook the trigger and speaking about the
Thanks, Adobe. And that's how you create demonic sounding voices. So in conclusion, this tech is completely wasted on me. But remember, if you use it, then use it only for good. Or for dank memes. In fact, I don't care how you use it. Have fun.